Here we go. Oh, that's really Will you snap out of it and get me some more coffee? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies. Let's get started.
Welcome to That's a Latte Film with your hosts, Erika and Rebekah. On this podcast, we will talk about some unpopular opinions on some popular films. So grab a cup of coffee, relax, and join us. Disclaimer, some of the films we discuss may be explicit. We will try our best to keep it PG, but please beware before you watch the films. There will also be a lot of spoilers. Hi guys.
Hey.
How's it going? Right now, my microphone is a little delayed.
I saw that before we started.
So if I look a little off, it's because...
I know, when I first started talking, I was like, why am I slow here?
This happened to me yesterday. Oh, I think we're getting a little better. Yesterday, I was talking on the phone with somebody at work, and they were asking all these questions to me, but there was a delay, but I could hear myself.
Oh, I hate that. That happens to me all the time at my job.
And I was like, I was trying to talk to her and give her information, and I was like, I don't like this.
It's like, there was this guy that called me at my job the other day, and he was like, he said something about him being from the sheriff's department. And I was like, I work at Cold Stone. Why would the police be calling? And then he was like, I couldn't hear him.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was like, what? I was like, eating himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. And then he was like, oh, can you call me from your mobile phone? I was like, you want me to call you from my mobile phone?
Are you
And he
kidding?
was like, yeah. He's like, keep me on the phone here and then call me on your mobile phone. I'll give you the phone number. He starts with the phone number and he was like, do you have your mobile phone in your hand? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay, start dialing. And I immediately knew it was a scam.
Oh,
And he's called twice
man.
to my job.
Like
I'm like, why are you
different
trying?
times?
Yeah.
What in
I was
the
like, why are you
world?
trying to scam Cold Stone workers? What could you possibly
For what
need?
reason?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, welcome. I just want to say a special thanks to you guys for watching. If you don't know, people who are watching the live either on Instagram or on YouTube will get a special chance to be entered to win a free movie ticket. So that'll be chosen later on. So I'm sure you guys are excited because these movie tickets are expensive out here.
Expensive.
And also special thanks to my father, Jack Maldonado, for sound engineering, and to Isaac Morales-Hernandez as a camera op. So, as you can see, the camera quality is fantastic
Oh yeah.
because he's using
I'd be having a.
black magic. That's what it's called.
Is it really?
That's what it's called.
I'd be having to actually get ready because like this camera quality is too good.
Can see too many details.
Yeah, too many details.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a good thing.
Also, the Alvarado, our cousin,
Bestie.
for doing the intro that you heard probably
A million times.
We actually might be doing an update very soon. Ooh, yeah,
Nice.
it's getting much better. It's getting
Yay.
much better. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. Yes, we're actually looking to update the intro very soon. because we are on season 3. If you don't know, we've been doing this since the pandemic. And
you guys remember those Zoom days?
we started off on Zoom.
Oh my goodness.
Becca used to sit in front of the window for the natural lighting.
I would, because my room had terrible lighting.
And then we just made it work, and it was really, really fun.
And now look at us.
And now look at us. We're using Blackmagic cameras, and we got a sound engineer who is amazing. And we have now this coffee cup right here. Okay. I needed to switch because usually I have a Minnie Mouse cup, and I was like, why would I do that when I have another coffee cup that is based on The Princess Bride,
a movie we've done on this podcast before?
Right. Okay, so let's get into it. First off, what are you currently watching, Becca?
For what?
In general.
In general?
Yeah.
I'm having, this is on a rotation, okay? Like, this is every single day. I watch Friends when my husband isn't home because he hates that show. So I watch it when I'm, like, doing my hair, my makeup. When he is home, we watch The Sopranos. Religiously. Like, I can now quote the show while watching it. Like, if I'm watching it and I'm doing something, I can talk with the TV show. So The Sopranos. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We watch that all the time. He watches South Park. I hate South Park.
I've never seen South Park.
It like a couple episodes are funny, but then other episodes I'm like, that is not funny. Like, it's just annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing about it seems.
I'm also trying to start watching finish like the new season.
Oh yeah.
But I watched the first episode and I was like, this is a lot.
It's very different.
It's very different. And they introduced so many characters in the first like 20 minutes of the show, and I was like, this is a lot. I just want to take a nap. Like, I wasn't trying to do all this, so I just turned it off.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, part 2 is out.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, and
so
I haven't
need
even
to
watched
see
part
that.
1.
You haven't seen the whole... Okay, so you haven't seen the whole thing. You haven't seen the previous seasons?
Yeah, I've seen the previous seasons.
Yeah. This season is really different because it's more of like a it's always a mystery, but I feel like it's more of a like Sherlock Holmes type vibe.
They're in London now. And...
Yeah. Like, I know he's running, but like...
Yeah. Even weird. My coworker said she was having a hard time getting through it because it was just like, not like the other shit.
It's not the same.
Yeah. The whole thing is that he's a stalker. So, like, why are we trying to do a whole mystery vibe? No.
All right. Well,
what are you watching?
Right now, okay, so You is one of them, and I'm going to have to watch part 2. I'm also watching for TV shows, The Last of Us.
Oh, Pedro Pascal.
Okay, don't even start, because I don't understand.
You don't think he's attractive?
No.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Have you seen him in Game of Thrones?
I just found out that he's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I just found out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
don't listen to her.
I don't find the appeal.
My coworker Melissa.
Yeah.
She would be rolling around. She's not in a grave, but if she was in a grave, she'd be rolling because she is in love with that man. Like, I have to send every time I see Pedro Pascal on my Instagram, I have to send it to her because she loves him.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
I mean, he's all over my Instagram stories. People keep posting him.
He's also super funny.
He is a funny dude.
That also.
He is funny. I agree with that.
It's always a factor. I don't understand how you don't
I keep trying to see it.
I'm pretty sure our cousin Hannah also thinks he's attractive.
Oh.
So.
Gosh. Lord. I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure she posted a picture of him on her story the other day or something, and I was like, period.
But he's a great actor.
He is.
He's a really great actor.
Yeah.
The show is so well done. But be aware that the episodes are very long. Like, the first episode was an hour and 20 minutes. It was like a movie.
I don't know why they do that. Like, if that's the case, just make it a movie. If you're gonna make me sit there for an hour and 20 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes. But it was good. It was good. Normally, I don't like zombie apocalypse types things. But it's really, really good. What else am I watching? The other day, I was driving home from work. and the thought came up of like, what's my favorite comfort film? And I was having such a hard time figuring out what it is.
I don't know if I have one. I will say that I do like the B movie. I do watch that movie a lot, but I also quote it. Yesterday I quoted it to Chris because he killed a bug on the windshield.
Aww.
And I was like, don't kill no more bugs. I don't think I don't watch movies that often anymore, so I don't know if I have a comfort movie. I've watched Scarface like a million times,
but that's not a comfort film.
not for me.
Like I don't see it as a comfort film. Okay, so then I had to do a deep dive into it because there's so many movies, and then originally I thought maybe Disney, but I feel like Disney's in its own category.
Yeah, that's not really.
I don't think
it's a comfort
Disney-
movie for everybody.
Yeah, I don't think Disney. Okay, don't be mad at me. Disney is great, but I don't think like on the grand scale of all the movies that Disney is like the oh my gosh, is the best movies of all time, like cinematic masterpieces. Disney.
I mean, in who is then? Who would you say is?
Because like when you look at, you know, like Paramount and Universal and like all these other studios that are making movies, I just feel like Disney is, and the animation is like in its own category.
I don't know about that one.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think about it. But anyways, because on that note, okay, yesterday I was watching The Devil Wears Prada.
I've never seen it. Is it good?
It is so good.
See, I like movies like that. Like that the movie He's Just Not That Into You.
Wait, what did Elias say? His comfort movie is The Matrix?
The Matrix. For me, it's Norbit. What is that?
Oh, with Eddie Murphy? That's such a random...
The Matrix? It's a comfort movie? The Matrix?
I've never thought of that.
Yours is
as a comfort movie.
Is it Batman? Yeah. Or
so
Superman.
My dad is
Man of Steel. That one you were always watching.
Man of Steel. Yes, my dad has watched Man of Steel on repeat. That one and Gladiator.
Gladiator is a comfort film. I don't understand. That movie is so violent.
Pedro Pascal was a narco.
Yes, that's what it was. Narcos. He was in Narcos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
See, he's a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good actor, but the attraction,
I don't understand.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand how you don't understand.
I don't understand.
No.
But anyways, so I was watching Devil Wears Prada, and I was like, maybe this is a comfort film.
Yeah, I like movies like that. Like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I love that movie. I love that movie. It is so good.
Yeah.
I like that movie. He's Just Not That Into You. Like movies like that, like rom-coms.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Not much thought
but
that needs to be put into it.
I don't have to like,
you know?
so like Game of Thrones, you have to really sit there and pay attention to what's going on. I don't have to do that with those movies. I can just like sit there and relax.
This is like, you're just like for giggles.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
giggles. Meanwhile,
it's good.
Meanwhile, Chris,
Yeah.
Scarface, comfort movie. I don't know why, but every time we sit down and he's like, "What do you want to watch?" and I don't be like, "I don't care." Scarface. Scarface. Every single time.
Say hello
to my little friends. And then I'll come home and he'll be watching it. And the amount of times
Cuddled
I've
up
seen
in his blanket, like
in the dark. I don't understand why that's a comfort
crazy.
film for him. Nah. Oh, what about The Godfather? You like The Godfather?
Ooh. Okay. I thought about that.
Yeah.
The Godfather did come up in my mind. I was like, maybe The Godfather is a comfort film for me. Because it's like, it's not very... It has its moments of, you know, obviously they're killing people.
Oh, I know what my comfort film is.
Yeah.
But go on.
But it's also like very... It has this very calming moments too. Like the music in the background. I don't know.
I guess so. The scenery.
The scenery... It's very nice. It's very nice.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck's
a good movie.
That's good too. Natalie said, or any Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, those are funny. the movie I recently saw with Adam Sandler was Anger Management with him and Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good movie.
I was
That
gonna watch that
funny.
the other day.
That movie was funny.
I was gonna watch that the other day. I don't think I've ever watched it.
What?
Anger Management.
Really?
I don't think I've
It's
seen
on
it.
HBO.
Okay,
It's
I'm gonna
good.
have to watch
But
it.
my comfort movie is any musical, in
Yeah.
existence. Mamma Mia, Rent, all of them. But Funny Girl is my comfort movie.
Ooh,
Miss a little bit of Barbara
that's
Streisand.
a good one though.
Mhm.
That's a really good one.
That is my comfort movie. It's
Yeah.
a sad story overall, but it's the music for
The
me.
thing is, though, with musicals, I love musicals, but I don't know. Sometimes they're a lot for me. Like
They're
to have
really
to sit
long,
there and
yeah.
just like not have to think about anything. I don't know.
It's always funny to me how they randomly just break out into song. But
Yeah.
the only musical that I've ever really not liked was Les Mis.
Les
Like that's
Mis,
just
ugh.
not.
It's depressing.
It's depressing. It's super long. It's
Mm-mm.
no.
Mm-mm.
It's just not for me.
But another movie that I watched that I need people to watch, okay, is it's kind of, in a way, it kind of feels like a comfort film, but then it's not all of a sudden. And I've told everyone that I know about this movie so far because I was very confused.
Ooh,
Grease. That's a good comfort film.
Yeah, you're right. I
Grease
like
is good.
Grease. Grease is a good one. See, it's always musicals. Musicals are always very.
So
What's this movie?
there's a movie that, as a matter of fact, this Sunday is the Oscars, you guys. So catch up on your movies that are out right now. But right now on, where is it? The Banshees of Inisherin. I've told everyone about this movie. Even people at work have been forced to listen to my story about this movie.
Hilarious.
I won't give the plot away, okay? But it's starring Colin Farrell and, oh my gosh, who's the other one? Brendan Gleeson, okay? And it's set in Ireland, and I guess it's like in a remote island off the coast of Ireland, it says. So it's very calming, very like, people live a very, like, they don't do anything. I feel like they're just outside riding their horses and tending to their sheep and everything, and then they go to the pub and they all just hang out over there. Like, everyone knows each other at the pub.
Very small town.
Very small, very, very, very small town.
Ooh, The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman is good too.
I don't know if that's a comfort film.
I can't really
saw
be
it when I was
comforted.
already older, so it wasn't not very nostalgic.
And I can't be calm watching that movie because then I just start breaking out into song.
Yeah,
Because it's so good.
All the songs are very much so like
It's
a lot.
crazy. So yeah, so they hang out at the pub, but these two best friends they've been friends for forever. One of the friends just decides to not talk to him anymore. Like, he just decides he doesn't want to be friends and just starts ignoring him, just cuts him out of his life. And now the other guy is like freaking out because he doesn't know what he did. And so they're both like in desperation to get each other to like, one of them is desperate to get them to talk to him, and the other one is desperate to get him to leave him alone. And it's like it's like such a mellow, like very calm desperation. Like, it's really weird because they're just talking,
yeah.
and then something happens in the middle of the movie that all of a sudden changes the whole like feel of it. Like, all of a sudden, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but he does something in desperation to get him to leave him alone.
Yeah.
And it goes crazy from there. So you guys need to watch it. I tried to watch it as like a comfort film to go to sleep because it seemed like that kind of a movie. And then it wasn't.
No.
So don't watch it before bed. Okay, that's my tip for you.
Right.
All right. But that's what I'm currently watching. And now we're going to get to the main topic of this episode. Now, if you haven't seen it, just beware. There might be some spoilers. Now, if I already said this to our camera operator, Isaac, who hasn't seen the movie,
Oh,
this movie has been out for a very long time, okay?
Forever.
I'm sorry if we're spoiling this for you, but you also should have watched it by now. It was out in 1994, this movie, okay? And it stars Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins, who I don't really know
Me either.
other than this movie.
Me either.
But the movie is called Shawshank Redemption. And Becca already has a lot of feelings
I
about
do.
this film.
I have a lot of feelings. Only because, though, this movie is 2 hours and 22 minutes long. Okay? I dreaded watching this movie all week. I watched it last night.
Sorry.
At the latest time that I could to know that I would stay awake to watch it. But then me and Chris made a deal. We were like, all right, it's 2 hours and 22 minutes.
You had to make a
We're
deal?
not gonna, I don't feel like watching the whole thing. I want to watch the whole thing tonight. So we literally sat, we were like, all right, we'll watch it. I told him, I was like, I'll watch the first hour tonight. Tomorrow morning I'll wake up early. And while I'm getting ready, I'll finish watching it. We watched the first hour. Chris is like falling over. Odie went to go sleep in a different room. He didn't even stay in the living
Even
room.
Odie was like, this
Yeah,
is terrible.
I had to sit up and I'm watching it and like I kept pausing it. I was like, we must have hit an hour. Every time it was like 38 minutes, 40, 45 minutes. And I was like, we're still not at the hour mark? Are you kidding?
Oh, gosh.
Are you kidding? It hits an hour, we turn it off. We start watching something else. Chris fell asleep and I was like, I'm just gonna watch it. I just finished watching it last night.
Oh, I'm
this
sorry.
movie is super long.
It's very long.
It's very much so detailed.
It's a lot of talking.
Isn't it a Stephen King?
Yes.
Yeah,
which
it's
I didn't
very
know.
much so Stephen King. Like a lot of details,
Okay,
a lot
but
of
would you-
scenery.
If you didn't know, does it really seem like a Stephen King movie?
Yes,
Why?
because it's super long and super detailed. Like the voiceovers of like Morgan Freeman whenever he was thinking and he was just talking out loud, like not talking out loud, but like
narrating?
narrating.
Yeah.
That's very much so Stephen King.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Every time I think...
it's also set in Maine,
Oh.
and all of Stephen King's books are set in Maine.
Oh, but every time I think of Stephen King, I always think of horror.
I guess so. Yeah.
I was not prepared for this to be a Stephen King book,
yeah.
because he wrote the book, and I didn't know that until I started doing research on the movie.
Out of 10, for
Oh,
length,
man.
0. But for like how good the movie was, I give it like an 8.
Oh,
It's pretty good.
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. The movie wasn't
So-
bad, but like I hated how long it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, okay. I understand that.
Yeah.
It does kind of
it dragged.
stretch itself because there's a lot of, I don't know, there's not really a lot of quiet, because I feel like it needs it because it's in a prison.
but just so much happens, and I'm just like, at this point, we could have gotten to the end. You know.
Okay, so here is the Google summary of this movie, okay? Andy Dufresne is sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms in prison for the murders of his wife, and her lover is sentenced to murders of his wife and her lover and is sentenced to a tough prison. However, only Andy knows he didn't commit the crimes. While there, he forms a friendship with Red, who is played by Morgan Freeman, experiences brutality of prison life, adapts, helps the warden, etc., all in 19 years. I hate that description so much.
Listen here, that
I hate
description is trash. Okay, because it's very generic. Very
Yeah.
generic.
Because there's a lot, like, experiences brutality of prison life. Okay,
Yeah, he gets beat up.
he gets beat up.
He gets, assaulted by
yeah,
men.
yeah. Because they think that Andy is like this quiet guy, weak guy who
He's a
doesn't
bank
know how to
teller.
handle himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just go after him.
hmm And he doesn't really fight back at first. Or
Yeah,
he does actually fight back.
He does.
But he can't really. It was like 3
there's
guys.
like 3 guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna be able to fight them.
Yeah.
But then he becomes like the one in charge.
Yeah,
pretty
because
much.
there was like this work, so it's like a whole bunch of men in the prison. There's like this one group that this movie focuses on, that they're all friends or whatever. And then like Andy becomes friends with Red, because Red is a guy who's able to get anything that you need outside of the prison. And so, which is played up by Morgan Freeman. But Andy, like, he used to be a bank teller outside of prison, so he knows about money. So there's this one guard who was like who beats up the prisoners. Like, he killed a prisoner like the first night that he was in jail, because like he just was being loud. And the prisoner's brother died and left him $35,000, and he was like being annoyed about the fact that he has to pay taxes and da. But then Andy helped the guard out and told him that if he gives the money to his wife as a gift, the IRS lets you give a one-time gift of like up to $60,000 tax-free. So he helped the guards, and the guard was on his side after that. And then he was able to like get the prisoners beer and all that. So like they ended up like feeling like they owed him something, so they all became friends in the end. But he then ended up like, because he had such good financial wisdom, all the guards were going to him for him to do his taxes.
They started leaving him alone a little bit more.
They gave him a lot of authority, let him like, he started writing letters to the government to get more money for the prison so he can open a library. So he just like fixed up the prison.
Yeah, he
And
does a lot
Are we
for the
gonna
prison.
say our own summaries?
I'm thinking we can do a... You know what? Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I'll give you my summary.
All right. I'll add stuff into yours.
A dude sees that his wife is cheating on him with a golfer.
Mm-hmm.
He allegedly kills them, and he gets sent to prison for life.
For life.
Okay? He then becomes the boss of the prison, like I just said, because he has a lot of financial wisdom.
Yes.
And, you know, he was getting, you know, bullied in the prison, so he needed like protection. So he became friends with the guards, and then he made friends with like the inmates. You know, one of the inmates was able to get him whatever he wanted.
Let them feel free.
Lets him feel
times.
free. Yeah. And then, you know, he likes rocks. So he you know, he gets a rock hammer, and he likes to like carve up rocks and everything like that.
Yes.
Then he gets on the warden's good side, and the warden helps him, him do. The warden's doing scams. Okay,
So
the
many
warden
scams.
is making money, corruption, all that. You know,
But
guilty.
he also believed in Jesus.
Guilty, Your Honor. Yeah,
He was also a Christian.
Yeah, he was also a Christian that said the only things he allows in his prison is discipline and the Lord. The Bible.
Yes.
Okay? And so then, he's doing a whole bunch of scams, having a whole bunch of crap money that he's having Andy Dufresne, like, you know, launder his money through the jail and different accounts and da-da-da-da-da. But what the warden doesn't know is that Andy's putting all this money under some guy's name that doesn't exist. But because it's in the olden times, they don't have, like, computers
Nobody's checking
and stuff.
this.
Nobody's like, it's all on paper. So, like, so he's... The money's all under some imaginary guy's name.
Yes, because Andy has dreams. He has a hope that he's
Of
going to
getting
get out.
Yeah, and then he finds out that we didn't really know if he was innocent this entire time. But then this other guy comes into the jail and tells a story about how there was another guy in the other jail that confessed to killing Andy's wife and the golfer to rob them. Right? So then we find out that Andy actually is guilty.
Right.
And
Because you know how all the inmates say that they're not guilty? They're like, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm innocent.
Yeah. He said
Andy's
that,
really
Yeah,
innocent.
he's the only actually innocent person in Shawshank, right? So then he tells the warden. The warden ends up killing the guy who is the witness to knowing that Andy didn't kill his wife, just so he can keep Andy in jail doing his dirty work for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy said, absolutely not. I'm tired. I am getting out of here. But all to find out in the end, Andy used that rock hammer to make a hole, a tunnel, like a little tiny rock
like
hammer
this.
like this. He dug a hole out of the prison through the 19 years and escaped from prison. That is what this whole movie is about, basically. 2 hours and 22 minutes of my life. To find out that all he was doing was trying to escape the prison. And he ended up like messing up the warden's life. Like he there was like this ledger that he had to like write all the stuff in. He ended up like getting a copy of the book and like switching it and giving the one that was like, I guess, had nothing in it to the warden. And when Andy escaped, he took all that stuff and sent it to the newspaper and got the prison in trouble. And the guard that was beating everybody up got arrested, and then the warden ended up killing himself because he just wasn't gonna make it in prison. Like they were all
Definitely not.
They weren't gonna respect him.
Yeah.
At all.
So That's basically the story.
Yeah.
That's basically the whole
Andy
thing.
Dufresne goes to prison and then escapes. Period.
Because he's innocent.
Because he's innocent.
Well, okay. Now here's the thing. So he's innocent. They know that he's innocent, but they won't let him go.
Yeah.
So
Because he's such an asset to the prison.
to the prison, yeah. So he still has to find a way to escape the prison, which is crazy to me. Because they have full proof.
about the escape? Because I have so many problems with it.
Okay, yes.
I have so many issues with the way that he escaped. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
He covered up the hole with a poster. First, it was like some lady in a movie. Then it was like Marilyn Monroe, and then like a different lady.
Yeah.
But he covered up the hole with this poster. How in the world did nobody know that he was digging a gigantic hole? How convenient is it that his jail cell was all the way at the end of the block, you know,
Right.
that he didn't have anybody next to him? How in the world did he get all the way down to the bottom and climb all the way back up to the top in his cell every single night with nobody hearing him? How? 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 I want to know how. Because when you watch this movie, the hole is not big. Like, it's not a very big, like, you know, tunnel. It's
Yeah.
like very much so like on his shoulders, like he's having to go through. So you're
Yeah.
telling me he wiggled back like a worm to get back up every day?
Every day.
You're bugging.
And how deep, like, how is that possible?
Right.
That's not possible.
It's not possible.
And let's talk about how the chisel
it's
is
like
this
this
small.
big, dude. Like this big. It's tiny.
It is so
Okay.
tiny. You mean to tell me that he chiseled through prison walls
19 years worth.
for 19 years?
I didn't have to get a
I
new
personally
hammer.
would have given up. If it was me,
Right.
I would have been like, you know what? I'm just stuck here for life.
Right.
I'm just gonna make myself. It's gonna be great.
Right.
But he chiseled through the wall with that little bit
Mm-hmm.
and was able to get out.
And never had to get a new hammer.
And
Never needed a new hammer. But for
That
me,
hammer never
really
broke?
the part for me was the fact that the hole was so small. How did he get back up without making noise every day? You know? Like,
right,
how?
there was no like.
There's
'cause
no-
You can't tell me the prison wasn't quiet in the middle of the night,
Right.
so you didn't hear any like shuffling
or like shaving
Or
like,
rocks falling.
or I just want to know how he got back up.
kind of prison guards.
Because of how, like, it was so tiny. Like, if you don't want to watch the movie, just go to the end, okay? And just watch Andy go through this tunnel.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, how did he get back up every day? Also, how did he know where to go when he escaped? Like, oh, he knew eventually there was because then he goes to the tunnel. He has to break open a pipe to go through the pipe where it's all the sewage sludge and stuff, like, you know, where everybody's poop goes. And he
Yeah.
has to go through there, climb through there, and eventually get, like, put into, like, a retention pond. And he eventually escapes, right? He had tied the actual ledger and, like, all the papers that he had in a bag on his foot, in a plastic bag. How did that not get ruined and
Right.
opened? I have a lot of issues.
There was
with
a
how
lot
this
of
movie
things in the movie that I was like, okay, how I know that this movie is set in like 1940s or something like that. I think that's the time
Yeah.
period. Because
ended. Yeah, 1947.
1947. Okay, so obviously it's a different time, you know. But remember the part that he somehow gets them to have beer in the prison? Like they're just all sitting there drinking beer together.
On the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that because he told the guard about the $35,000 thing. He said the only price I'll charge you is beer for me and my friends on the last day of work outside here. So he
like
got them all beer.
that that was crazy
And he
to
didn't
me
even drink
because right
'Cause he's sober.
because he doesn't drink, right? But well, not according to the beginning of the movie, because in the beginning of the movie he was
Yeah, he gave up
Not
drinking
okay.
after that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't believe, like, that was just very unbelievable to me that he was able to make that kind of a deal with a guard. Like, I understand the whole financial thing, he's helping them financially, but the guards are so mean. Like, they're so aggressive. But that one day they were just like, yeah, sure.
No, I
like,
believe it.
we'll agree. And they let every single one of them
Yeah.
have a drink.
Corruption in the government. Period.
I found it very hard to believe. I was like,
I believed it. I
this
was
is
like,
weird.
he just got him to save all $35,000 of his money. He's like, the beer is nothing. Yeah. Like, they already break the rules and beat the prisoners. So, like, they're not gonna be hesitant to break a rule and give them beer. Especially since they're doing life in prison anyway. Like,
I mean, yeah.
oh, you know what kills me? You know what makes me die? Is that when, like, you know how, like, recently the Murdaugh murders that were, like, all go, like, on Netflix that documentary came out? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how he just got sentenced to prison? The dad?
Yeah.
But you know how they be like, okay, you're gonna serve 2 life sentences, and they're gonna be served consecutively. That makes me die. Because I'm like, dude, they're gonna die in prison. Like, you're gonna tell me, like, oh, they thought, oh, I'm gonna do 1 life sentence, get out, and then do my other life sentence. Like, obviously, they're gonna be consecutive.
Like, I'll be getting out soon.
Yeah.
I'll get a little break in between.
And then I'm gonna do life again. Like,
Yeah.
what? That makes me laugh so hard. Whenever I watch, like, a judge, like, sentencing, and they're gonna be served consecutively.
They really make you feel it. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's the principle of the fact.
Yeah,
that
they're like,
because
you're
you
done.
took 2 lives, you're gonna serve 2 life sentences consecutively.
You're done.
Yeah.
No, my favorite part of this movie though is when he's in he's like cleaning up for the library. He's trying to make everything look nice. But then he grabs the what do they call it? I guess it was a record player. Yeah,
he defies the guards
warden.
and the
So
Gordons.
he sits in the office
Warden.
and he starts playing the records over the intercom for all the prison mates to hear, to give them a taste of the music, right? But obviously this is against the rules. So he's playing it, he locks the door so that they can't get in. One of the prison guards is like using the bathroom at the time, so he locks the prison guard in the bathroom, and then he just plays it, and he's just chilling, knowing he's gonna get in trouble.
Yep.
He knows he's gonna get in trouble. And the warden comes with the other prison guards, and they're like, open the door, and he's like just sitting there looking at them, knowing that like they can still break the door down, but he's gonna enjoy this minute that he has.
Very gutsy. Like, he didn't
And
care.
they just break the door down, and they put him in solitary for a month. For a month. If there's one thing that I really like about this movie is that they show prison life. Like, they show what it's
How
like.
bad it is.
You know, and they all like are there for bad things that they did. Like, they share that with each other. Like, you know, what are you here for? What are you here for? And then, but Andy's always like, well, I didn't do it, but this is why I'm here. But they didn't believe him.
Yeah, they're always just like, oh yeah, everybody here is innocent.
They're like, oh yeah, Andy, okay, yeah, you're innocent.
But then the one character, Red, he actually says that he is guilty.
Yeah, like,
That
he's guilty.
He's the only guilty man in Shawshank.
You
Like,
know?
he admitted that he murdered somebody.
But like, I think it's really cool that they show a lot of what they go through, and I think Andy gets kind of the worst of it just because he's really defiant and like really intelligent too, like very strategic. So the warden doesn't like that about him.
No.
So he does whatever he can to break him. So he tries to put him in solitary, and all the other inmates are like, dude, like, just stop. Like, just stop fighting the warden because we don't want you to have to go back there again.
Yeah.
And he's like, he gets back out of solitary, like whatever. Like,
yeah,
I'm fine.
They're like, he did a month. He's like, the easiest month.
They couldn't
I've ever
break
done.
him at
yeah,
all.
like, but like you could tell her solitary is terrible. There's no light in there. They closed the door. It's complete darkness for a month. Are you
by
kidding?
yourself. He was like, they were like, how did you make it? He was like, because I had the music inside.
Yeah, they added it here.
I have it
in here.
They were like,
oh yeah, because he
okay.
was like, because I had the music, and they're like, oh, they let you keep the record player in solitary confinement.
he said no.
He was like, no, I have it in here and in here. Because that's the one thing they can't take from you.
I was like,
it was
This
a good
is so
movie. Like,
crazy.
overall, it was just super long.
Yeah.
Like, super, like, slow.
and it's really inspiring. It's an inspiring film.
yeah, because, like, he ends up... So, Andy has a conversation...
What do you mean, how?
What did he say?
I said it's inspiring, and he said, how?
It's a... You know,
It's showing that
the movie is about hope.
prisoners, okay?
Okay?
They have hope on the outside, okay?
Yeah, because Red was trying to tell Andy the whole movie that hope is a dangerous thing to have when you're serving life When you're
They can
serving,
chisel their way out.
yeah, when you're serving life in prison, hope is a dangerous thing to have because Red kept going up to the parole board every single year. He had been in prison for 40 years. And they kept denying him. And so, like, he was like, I'm never going to get out. And then Andy told him, like, the night before that he was going to escape, that if Red ever gets out, to go, like, all the way to Fort Knox, Texas, go all the way to this tree that Andy proposed to his wife at. There's going to be some volcanic rock, and there's going to be something underneath. And so Red ends up actually getting out of prison, finally. And he was, like, really depressed out of prison. They also showed that aspect of prison, that when they get out, they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, they don't know how they're going to live outside.
They're afraid when they're outside because they don't know anything. They don't know how to do anything. And so Red was about to give up on life, but then he decides that he's going to go and he's going to go find that tree. He finds whatever is underneath the rock. And it ends up being a letter from Andy when he got out of prison saying, like, come meet me somewhere in Mexico and we can, like, work on this project together or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's the end of the movie. That Red ends up finding Andy in Mexico.
Yeah, and they basically, like, rest of their lives.
Yeah, they're going to spend the rest of their lives together. How cute.
In Mexico. Yeah, it's a really cute ending.
Yeah.
It's nice. It is very long. I had to watch it. I do have to watch it in two sittings.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot.
But I decided, when Chris fell asleep, I was like, I'm not going to want to wake up earlier tomorrow. So I'm just going to finish it now.
Aww. Well, that's Shawshank.
Yeah, it's not anything special. Like, it's just, 2 hours.
It's a good movie,
and 22 minutes of my life that I'll never get back.
I requested this movie.
Yeah.
Because I
was very upset about it.
Shawshank Redemption, okay? Now, do I watch it a lot? No.
This is the first time I watched it.
I watch it every so often. But every time I watch it, I love it.
Oh, it was so sad when that old man killed himself.
Oh.
Yeah, there was this old man that had been in prison for like 50 years. And he was in charge of the library. And like he was very much like he was very intelligent, like one of the most intelligent people in the prison. And they ended up telling him that he was going to be let out of prison after 50 years. And he was freaking out because he didn't want to leave. Like, this was his home. This is all he knew. And so he tries to kill one of the other prisoners because he's like, this is the only way they're going to let me stay here. Like, I don't want to go. He ends up getting let out of the prison and putting into, like, this halfway house and giving a job at the, bagging groceries. But like 50 years in prison, he was 50 years younger and they didn't have cars, didn't have anything. And so he was very much like an alien and out in the world. And so he ended up getting so depressed that he kills himself. He hung himself because he was just like, I don't like being out here. I want to go back to prison.
It's so sad.
Which is crazy.
It's so sad.
So crazy.
Well, you guys, that's all I have.
That's all I got
to share about this movie.
Time-wise, 0 out of 10. But the movie was an 8 out of 10.
Can you sense the silence?
I love this movie.
Yes.
I see it every time that it comes on TV. Why?
As you should.
No.
It's such a good movie.
This is like a movie you watch once and then you never watch it again.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes. This is a movie that I will never watch again. Not willingly. Somebody would have to like tie me to a chair.
Guys, go watch this movie and tell Becca she's wrong.
No, thank you.
That it's a really good movie.
It's not though.
Okay. Well, anyways, so we're gonna have another live next month. Okay. Be sure that if you want to win the free ticket, you need to fill out the form that is on our YouTube live right now. Okay, so if you want that opportunity, you need to go fill out that form. If you want the opportunities going forward to know when there's a live and when there's free giveaways or anything like that, send us a message on Instagram, or you can send it. Yes, exactly. Send it to us through Instagram on That's a Latte Film, or you can send it to my personal Instagram too. That's fine. Or you can just leave it in the chat now. But the Google form is there right now. You can fill it out, and then I will send you the free ticket through your email. All right, you'll get one for one movie for one person. Okay, I can't buy one for your entire family, but for one person. Okay. We will have another live next month. I'm not sure the date yet, but keep an eye on that. I do know we're going to have 2 episodes in April. This month it's just going to be 1. Okay. But yeah, follow us, subscribe to stay updated on stuff coming up. All right, you guys?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and
As we always say,
we love you a latte. Bye.
Bye.
So, here we go. Oh, that's really good. Will you snap out of it and get me some more coffee? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies.